Ferrer. A little bit about him is he is the founder of the Patriot Kids Foundation. He's 12 years old, and I had the pleasure of meeting him when we were in Washington, D.C. for CPAC. He's inspiration to the younger generation, and I'm super happy to have him come out here tonight and talk. He came all the way from Cape Coral, so thank you, Daniel, for coming out. You may come up now.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks. Okay, how are we doing, guys? You guys are too quiet. You're a bit quiet. Come on, let's hear it up. There we go. I like a good crowd. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm 12 years old. I'm from Virginia. My name is Daniel Ferrer. Now I live in Cape Coral, and I have a nonprofit foundation called Patriot Kids Foundation, where we want to actually do kind of what Nathan's doing here with the College Republican group, but with the younger kids, with the kids from elementary, middle school. We want to install values that have been lost in our school since 62 years ago. So with all that, I've got a little speech here because I think that what's happening right now in America is a lot to do with what we've seen in our education. So what we're seeing today in our nation, which is a devastated nation, is because we have lost our values and we have lost the path on which our founding fathers created America on. Since 62 years ago, the public education, our government institutions, our Supreme Court, especially the Supreme Court, have taken away from us God, the Bible, the Ten Commandments, ignoring completely that this is the philosophy of government on which our founding fathers created America. However, the only way to save America, to get our nation back on track, is simple. It's very easy. We have to follow something I call the 3T formula. And that is find the truth, love the truth, defend the truth. Now, what truth are we going to find? We're going to find the truth of how America was created, of how our founding fathers created America, and of the original intent of our founding fathers. You'll see me mention a lot original intent and founding fathers because it's what makes America different. You're also going to see me mention a lot of other things like our Declaration of Independence. I don't know if y'all are familiar that the Declaration of Independence is actually one of the most important documents in the United States. And if you'll give me 1 second, I'll get my notes right here so I don't forget anything because it's not long, Nathan. Don't worry. Okay. So, what is American exceptionalism? Someone answer me that? No one? Okay, good. I like that. So, right here is the Constitution of the United States. Right here is the Declaration of Independence. Has anyone read any of them? Hands up. Yes? Okay. Have you understood them? You sure about that? Okay. So, if you haven't read them, if you haven't understand them, don't feel bad. Because let me tell you something. The majority of Americans have never read nor understood the words inside of these documents, these founding documents that have made America different, that have made America exceptional. Why? Because, first of all, your parents haven't read them. And if they haven't read them and they don't understand them, they can't teach them to you. I like to go back to a quote from John Jay, where he said that children should learn and should read their founding documents so that they can be the better prepared to assert them and defend them. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that quote. He says there that we have to be prepared to defend and assert our rights, but the only way to do that is by reading our founding documents. Now, can someone answer me why you haven't read these documents, for those who haven't read them here? I'll answer first. It's too boring. Give me some more.
Don't have time to do it.
Exactly. Anyone else? Don't be ashamed. It's normal if you don't read these. It's normal. Come on. Someone, hands up. Come on. Okay. I'll give you some more. First of all, it's not interesting. Like I was saying, it's boring. first of all, like you said back there, you don't have time to do it. Then it's because you don't understand them. And something that I'm doing this going quick back to when I was still in public schools is that my math teacher told me, if you don't like math, it's because you don't understand it. And that's what helped me a lot. So if you don't understand these founding documents, you'll never be able to defend them, to love them, to know them, because you don't understand them, because it's old. But let me tell you something, even though these founding documents are more than 200 years old, they're still young today. They are still defending our country every minute, every second, every hour, because we are under attack right now by these government institutions, by our public education, because they don't want us to learn this, because they know that right here is the answer to every problem we are having in America. So here we see the reasons of why our kids, young generations, are feeling ashamed of being born in America, feeling ashamed of being Americans, feeling ashamed of our patriotic symbols, feeling ashamed of our flag, of our history. And this is also why, and I know a lot of you are, I'm going to give it around 17, 18, 19, are going to vote quickly or have already voted. And if you're voted and you voted for someone that's wrong, it's because you don't understand this. And it's completely normal. It's completely fine because you don't understand these documents. If you don't understand, you'll never be able to correctly vote for someone who is going to put America and Americans first. And like I said at the beginning, we don't know this either because our fathers, our parents, didn't have the culture of reading these documents and showing it to the rising generations. So if we don't know it, it's not just because of our parents, it's because our schools are not in this. I'm going to tell you something that not a lot of people know. And that is that, I don't know if you know this, but in 1962, the Supreme Court of the United States went through they did a suit because in every school, there was a voluntary prayer in the United States. Completely voluntary. So if you want to do it, you could. If not, don't do it. And one kid in the whole United States, we're talking about more than 300 million people in the whole United States, felt disrespected because of this. So out of 300 million people, one person can decide the fate of everyone in schools. So they took out prayer. They took out the 10 Commandments, where it was actually more common to find the 10 Commandments in a school and in a public government office than in a church. They took that out, saying, oh no, it's not respectful to the people who are atheists and deists. And I know what you guys are thinking right now, because I got something you guys don't know. I can read minds. And you're all thinking, what is this kid doing here talking about God and history? Well, let me tell you something. Our founding fathers based America on godly principles. And how can we do that? Well, pretty easy. I'm going to go now to this next part, where I'm going to talk more about our founding documents. Like I was saying, these two, this is the Constitution, Declaration of Independence. Everyone, every nation in the world would love to have a constitution like we do. The problem is, they don't know our secret. You guys know our secret? Can someone answer me? Secret? No? No one? Okay. Yes, sir.
Liberty.
Okay, kind of there. Our secret is right here, the Declaration of Independence. This is the seed of a tree that our founding fathers planted in 1776. What is this seed? This seed is a philosophy of government of our nation. It's what makes America exceptional. I'm going to tell you something. Like I said, the Declaration of Independence is our philosophy of government. The Constitution is how it is played out. Some of you guys play sports, I imagine, and I'm a baseball guy. So the Declaration of Independence would be the first pitch off. So the Declaration of Independence is what leads us to our Constitution because it's what sets forth our philosophy of government. Let's read that seed. Let's open up that seed that our founding fathers planted in 1776. But before that, let's go to the first part because a lot of you will tell me, well, no, the Declaration of Independence isn't a government document. It's just a document signed by our founding fathers in 1776. Let me tell you something. That's completely wrong. Why? Because it is a government document because it was signed unanimously. At the top of the Declaration of Independence, it says, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. And it's also the birth certificate of America because from there on, our country was born. That's why we celebrate on 4th of July, 4th of July, we celebrate the birth of our nation. And the Declaration of Independence is like the birth certificate of our nation. Now, let's read the preamble here of the Declaration of Independence. It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What are our founding fathers saying here? Pretty easy. We can see here on this little chart I made here, so it's easier for you guys to understand. So first of all, the government's acknowledging that there's a God, there's a Creator that has given us our rights that are unalienable, which means no one can touch them. No one under God can touch these rights, which are the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No one. Not the president, not Supreme Court justices, no one. No ideology, no one. No one can violate these rights. Then we have that our rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, that they're unalienable. And after that, this is what puts limits on government. This is what tells government, hey, right here, you stop. From here on, it's the people. And let me tell you something, the government's line is real short. So they've got from here to here, and from us, this. We the people are supposed to have more rights. We are supposed to have more power than the government. That's why Lincoln, in his Gettysburg Address, said it is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Because it's for us. They acknowledge here that it's consent of the governed who will move this government around. Then we have that, like I was saying, consent of the governed. And then the most important thing, like I said, they're unalienable. So that means no elections on our rights. No one can touch these rights because they are unalienable. And, you know, Samuel Adams talks about this. He says, that means that our rights are here, right under God, because they come directly to us. And anything under God and our rights, forget about it, because they can't touch anything. And John Adams says that godly rights are anteceded to any other government. I don't know if you guys know what anteceded means. It means it's before any other government. We can go to Noah, and when God gives Noah the 9 laws when he gets off of the ark, he tells him all of these rights, and that's the first civil government. And no one can touch those rights. Now, going back, let me check here so I'm not forgetting anything. Don't worry, I'm about to finish. If I can see you guys are like, so don't worry, I'm about to finish. Okay, so another thing. I'm talking a lot about God, right? Let me tell you something. We cannot confuse the First Amendment, which everyone knows here what the First Amendment is. Someone knows it by memory? Can someone tell me here? Come on, guys, answer me. Okay, you.
Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and freedom to petition.
Perfect. Okay, so, like you said, freedom of religion. And a lot of people say, well, yeah, it's freedom of religion, so don't get God mixed up with how our government was created. Let me tell you something, that's freedom of religion. That's freedom for you to choose what you are going to practice. But the way our country was created is a whole different story. It's a whole different thing. Now, like I was saying, you guys are in voting age. When it comes to electing someone to vote, you have to know how to elect perfectly. And I'll give you the one thing. It's just one thing. Forget about everything else. One thing he has to represent and he has to respect, or she has to respect. Life. Okay? Why? Because it's the first right that God gives us. It's life. And it's been shown on charts that when senators don't respect life, they won't respect prosperity for America. They won't respect your unalienable individual rights. They won't respect anything that is good for America. They will represent everything that's bad for America because they don't respect life. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we have to do here is start from bottom up. We have to get this seed. We have to get what our founding fathers wanted for America, the original intent, and start teaching it to the younger generations. You probably have brothers, sisters. You probably have nephews. I don't know. You have someone small in your family. And you got to start teaching them this. And I don't want to leave this meeting and you guys forget everything, because that usually happens. Don't worry, it's normal. You usually walk out the door and forget everything that was taught in here. I'm going to tell you something. This piece of advice is the most important stuff. I'm going to finish with this. America is exceptional. And I'm not talking on the part of arrogance. I'm talking that we are the exception of the rule. We are above everything that every nation has done. Any nation in the world can be just exactly like us. But they have to unveil our secret. They have to unveil what our founding fathers wanted for America. They have to unveil that our nation has something that no one has, which is that tells us that our rights come from God and that no one can touch those rights. That is a philosophy of government, because that puts limits on government. I'm repeating a lot because it's important to remind yourself every day that our philosophy of government is what makes us exceptional. There are a lot of people, usually at university, college ages, that think that America is horrible. It's racist. None of you are, because you're here today. Maybe you were when you were younger. And they think that because they don't know this. A lot of people say that our founding fathers had slaves. Yes, they had slaves, but they never bought slaves. They had inherited them. And before I leave, I want to do one quick favor, if it's perfectly fine with you. I want everyone to pull out their phones real quick, please. I don't know how many of you have Instagram. Go open Instagram and follow me, please, on Instagram. It's Daniel _ yeah, everyone's laughing. You can laugh. It's perfectly fine. It's Daniel _ Ferrer, Ferrer, 2011. You can follow me there. There's everything we're doing with my foundation, Patriot Kids Foundation. And it's everything that I told you here is a message I give usually daily on my Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel, which is Life, Liberty, and Kids. So please, like I'm saying, if you have younger people, if you have younger siblings, teach this to them. Teach this to your friends on college that don't come to these meetings. Teach this to everyone you know, because this is the only way to save America. So remember the first principle. We have to follow the 3T formula. Find the truth, love the truth, defend the truth. Remember what the truth is? How America was really founded. How America was really created. Thank you so much, guys. God bless America. God bless you all. Thanks, Ben. Let me get this before. Any questions?
Question. Is this on the test?
No. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. It's not a question. I just gotta say this. Bro, I see what you're doing in C-SPAC. I'm like, sir, keep going.
Thank
keep
you.
moving, keep doing everything. I tell you this, it's kind of for you saying most of these people are like voting 17, 18. Bro, I'm about to vote my 6th presidential election. That means I can legally run for president. I'm 38 years old, bro. And I tell you like this, the reason why I do what I do when I was in the service, now this and that, so someday folks are you keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
That's the reason why the Second Amendment is there for a reason. We defend the First Amendment. Sir, keep going, keep moving, because when you win, America wins.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Do you do speaking engagements with like other groups?
Yeah, I do speaking wherever they invite me. I try to take my message everywhere.
Okay, cool. I run a group over in New Tampa Republican Club. And
Okay.
I would love to see you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Please answer questions. It's the only way you can learn.
It is very impressed. I am much older than you are, and I'm really impressed on your wisdom and your knowledge and the way you deliver your message. It's a very touching message, something that we know. I've been here most of my life and went to school here as well, and I do not recall ever being exposed to understanding the principles of our nation. It's amazing a young fellow like you come over and teaches me something that I should have done a long time ago. And I really congratulate you for that.
Thank you. Quick, before I leave, sorry, Nathan. You may see that I'm young and that you guys are a lot older. You guys usually look to people older than you. I look up to you guys, but sometimes history has moments where people have to look down to younger folks because sometimes, and I read a lot The Little Prince, don't worry, it's going to be short. And it says that usually parents are, and not parents, grown-ups, people already over 20, are always focused in things that are not things like kids would focus. And these are stuff that, even though I'm young, we have to understand. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.